What up, your boy Superman? And today's subject is things that Japanese people do that might irritate you that you shouldn't take so offensively. So basically, things that Japanese do that might offend you. That's kind of the topic for today. Let's just get into it. Okay, you're a foreigner. You look different. They're gonna stare at you. Just deal with it. They're gonna stare at you 24/7. I don't care where you're at. You're in the train, especially in the train. They're gonna stare at you in a restaurant. They're gonna stare at you. Yeah, anywhere you go, unless you're gonna hide yourself, hide your face, the mask or something. They're gonna stare at you. So you're just gonna have to deal with it. And next, you will figure this out very quickly. They won't sit next to you on the train unless it's like one of those late trains. You're going home, like it's really busy, like everyone's off work type of time frame. So basically, unless it's like a really busy time, they will not sit next to foreigners on the train. So don't be so offended. It's not just you, it's every foreigner. So for me, I'm just like, okay, there's a place for my bag. So that's how I kind of look at it. Next, sometimes Japanese people get personal a little too fast. Why is this? I think most times it's just general curiosity. They're really curious about where'd you come from, How old are you? Are you married? They're just really curious most of the time. Sometimes it's actually more like you're this creepy foreigner person and they want to make sure that you're not like a killer, apparently. Even though Japan does not really let killers into the country, they only let like scientists, engineers, businessmen, English teachers with high credentials, and people who get married to Japanese into the country. Meaning, like, they don't let anyone that's they don't let criminals in. But yet, like, since you're a foreigner, they might, you might be criminal to them. I don't know. Next, they might want to be your friend a little too fast. They're like, hey, how's it going? And you're like, hey, how's it going? And they're like, you want to hang out? You're like, okay, cool, let's hang out. You hang out once, and they call you next day, want to hang out again? You're like, cool, I'm kind of busy, but maybe the weekend. The next day they come over unannounced. You're like, hey, how's it going? I showed you where I live once, and I'm regretting it right now. What up? And he's like, oh, I just want to give you this present. Okay, I'll take this. I had a guy like this, okay, and the guy was a very nice guy. I went to his house once, all that stuff, but like it was way too much. Like he'd come to my house unannounced, bringing me random gifts. He literally called me every single day. I don't know if he's lonely or I don't know what, but sometimes this will happen. So I'm just like, Then at the same time, you'll get the opposite effect. You'll have Japanese people that like, they don't want to be your friend. Like they don't even want to talk to you at all. Like they'll like talk like they want to be your friend, right? And like, yeah, we can hang out this weekend. And you call them on the weekend and they're like, oh, I'm busy. Okay, cool. Next weekend, you want to hang out? I'm busy again. Okay, cool. Like that. So Japanese will never say very directly, hey, look, I don't want to hang out with you. So just understand that and know that. You'll get the drift very quickly. Next, Japanese might only talk to you just for their own benefit, which is to learn English. But at the same time, if you're learning Japanese, it works in both your favors. If you already know Japanese very well, then it works only in their favor, therefore they're just using you. That happens. Don't be so offended by it because it happens. And I just feel like that's a human kind of thing to do. I feel like if I was in America and a Japanese person, was my friend, I would ask them like how to say this in Japanese. Like, I had a Hispanic buddy and I used to harass him all the time. Like, how do you say this in Spanish? How do you say this? He never really got tired of it. And my goal was not to learn the whole language. I just thought it was amusing. Next one is, you'll find this very interesting, but they'll cheer you on for everything, like, because they don't know if you have ever used chopsticks before. So like when you use chopsticks in front of them, they might be like, oh my gosh, good job, and you're sitting there like, why are you clapping for me? It's just chopsticks, right? But they don't know that you've been using chopsticks for the last 5 years, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. They don't know at all. So they're going to cheer for you. Or if you speak a little bit of Japanese, they're like, oh my gosh, Jozu, your Japanese have improved a lot. They don't say this to mock you. They say it to actually encourage you because they want you to learn Japanese. They want you to learn their culture, and that's just how it is. But some people get irritated. I've talked to teachers who would get really pissed. I'm just like, dude, don't be so offended. That's just the culture here. That's just how they are. And he's just like, I've been here for 5 years. I know Japanese really well. I'm a master at chopsticks. I don't know how you can be a master. Unless you're catching like flies and beating people up with chopsticks. I don't think you're a master at chopsticks. But this guy is really offended. Okay, the next one is Japanese will indirectly tell you to be more Japanese. Even though you might come to like teach your own culture, they still might indirectly kind of sort of say you have to be more Japanese. They won't say it directly like that, but they'll say it in code, like be more professional, or just do as the Japanese teacher specifies or whatever. But basically they want you to be more like them, because like when a foreigner acts and is more Japanese feel more comfortable with them. I know it kind of defeats the whole purpose of like you teaching your own culture to Japan, but I guess that's how it is. I feel like it's the same in America. When we have foreigners, we expect them to know English. Like we're like, you're in America, you should know English. So we do the same thing. So you can't really say much, right? This next one you shouldn't be offended by. Japanese always assume that you don't speak Japanese. So like even if you come and you speak your best Japanese, sometimes they can't always understand you, and they will still try to find someone who speaks English or whatever language you speak. So don't be offended by the fact that they assume naturally that you can't speak Japanese. It will happen everywhere, always. So get over it, just like the staring. And the last one, this happens a lot. It's not you necessarily. Okay, wait, it is you in some ways because you're a foreigner and Japanese might not feel comfortable with you. It's not because like anything in particular. It's just that they might be nervous to speak English to you because their English is really bad, or they might be nervous because you are a foreigner. Because like some people have never ever met or talked to a foreigner in their whole life, right? And suddenly you're there in their face like, hi, how's it going? And they're just like, like you're a vampire. It's more Japanese being uncomfortable with you, not because you make them uncomfortable necessarily, like you did something wrong. You didn't do anything wrong, but they might kind of sort of ignore you or try to, get someone else to deal with you because they can't deal with you properly. Like for example, you go to, I don't know, a convenience store, right? And you go to your cashier and you do not speak any Japanese at all beyond konnichiwa, my name is this, So they might get like anyone, like their manager or some other person, anyone who might speak a little bit of English or whatever language you speak, to try to speak to you if there's too much of a language barrier. Actually, there's one more thing. Japanese will talk about you in front of you. I'm not saying all of them, but they will talk about you in front of you. Because like I said, they assume you don't speak Japanese. Sometimes they'll talk good, sometimes they'll talk bad, sometimes it's kind of like, oh look, there's a foreigner. It seems to happen more in Osaka. Osaka people like to talk. If you go down south, they don't talk as much. If you go to Tokyo, up north, they don't talk as much. Osaka, they talk a lot. They laugh a lot too, but they talk a lot too. And one other small experience I'd like to share with you. Osaka, like, I've been lost on the trains many times, and I've been helped by Osaka people like several times. I was lost in Tokyo. I've been helped 0. So Osaka 7, Tokyo 0. Anyways, peace. That's it for this video, and yeah, until next video.